Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are hopefully going to be able to get these guys through the end of, well, Act 2 before we break for Christmas, but if we don't, we'll just leave you on a cliffhanger. I've done that before. That's always fun. But announcements first. We are going to be having new merch hitting the store real soon. This is your chance to tell us in the Eclectic Emporium on our Discord whether or not you would like to see some of these brand new designs that Otter has put up, and what you would like to see them on. We have my favorite saying, which is "roar for initiative," and you hear me say it every time we sign off on Thursday nights, as well as the former Saturday game, the Stolen Cities. So yeah, pop into the Eclectic Emporium. Let us know what you like and what you'd like to see this stuff on. Without further ado, let's get into game. Alright, just to give a little recap, because I know it's been a little bit since we saw these lovely faces on screen. When we last left this group, they helped a succubus who had been cursed ages before to free her from said curse. And then they went back to the tavern in the outer city and were met by the deposed King Sterling Rivers and his two right hand, or I guess his two of his lieutenants is how I'll say it. Nadia Rostov and Kasanov Bestra. Orion knew Kasanov and was given a rather enthusiastic hug, only to then be complained about as to why he was always so hard. We're not having that discussion again. But, yes, they were given very detailed instructions on how to get to these shields underground, base of operation in the inner city. However, the gates of the inner city are now closed. So, any chance that they have of getting in will have to wait until the morning. At the very least. Party! The night is still young. What would you like to do?
And just for clarification, where are we? We just got out of the meeting with all of those lovely folks, but where did that take place?
In the inn where you guys are staying for the kind of like your duration.
Okay. Just making sure I'm remembering right.
Yep.
We sit and have dinner and engage in small talk. And then the server comes up and says our dinner is ready and we go into a quiet room.
Okay. Well, this got interesting really quickly. About what time of day is it right now?
After supper.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, didn't mean to click that, but it's there now.
Who the fuck are you trying to scry?
Well, I'm feeling a little nostalgic, and I have already checked in on one of our previous party members. So
Don't do it.
during the discussion, I'd like to flip back in my notebook to the pages of Yugen and reminisce a minute, and then see what they're up to. See if I can't reach out and check
You're a
in.
bad person. What time of day is it?
Hold on. I think you get a saving throw. Hold on.
Let me pull up Yugen's stuff.
Must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well I know the target. I have first-hand knowledge, so...
Dude, I'm not even going to bother rolling. I start with a -1 in my wisdom.
Okay. Well, you're not going to beat a 21 then, so... Oh! It's so close.
Oh my god.
You know what makes me sad?
That's a natural 20!
Yeah!
And even with a nat 20, you technically... Even if you had a flat 0, you wouldn't have gotten that unless you had a +1. And even then... Yeah, +1.
With his modifier, it's what, like -7 to my roll, right?
Hang on.
I have your likeness in my notes, so I wouldn't say I know you super well because we didn't travel together for long. So I would have a +5 to my DC, and you would have a -2 to your saving throw because I have your likeness or picture in my notes. So it'd be 17 plus 5 for the DC and -2 on your roll.
So that's a 22 on the save DC. And even
Means I
rolling
got
a
a
nat
17?
20, even rolling a nat 20, you can't stop this from happening.
Yugen suddenly feels very invaded. No. But yeah, no, what time of day is it?
For you, it is probably... I guess... Sorry, There we go. My roll 20 was acting up. Oh god, for you, I would guess probably about, like, 10?
AM or PM?
PM.
PM. Okay. In which case, let's see here. Yugen is definitely going to be at home at his workbench with just all sorts of blueprints sprawled out, and you see different parts and odds and ends that he's clearly been tinkering with, just a pile of scraps sitting in the corner or whatever. And not just Artax is there anymore. Artax has several siblings, I'd assume, at this point, probably smaller creatures. And I'm imagining like two of the little ones like playing tug of war just because they can. Just kind of going over blueprints, trying to figure out a way to design something better. And, he gets that little ping and starts hearing Orion's voice.
I wish it was sending, buddy. It's not. I'm just looking.
It's not. Okay.
Nope.
He's just
you
quietly
just-
observing you like a creeper.
Yep. Nice, like
the
a
gods
center.
haven't. The gods
round
haven't
center
seen fit
fireplace
for
nearby.
me to be able to talk to you yet.
He's just hanging out in his workshop, doing his thing. He's created several more little things around him. Working on creating those living creatures.
Can I get a view of any of the things you've made?
Okay, so if we're going with the living creatures, of course you guys know Artax, the displacer beast mechanism. And then just for kicks, Yugen probably tried to create a few different versions of chickens. So you see some very strange looking think the chickens from like the Zelda games. Just walking around, but they're not quite squawking. They're just like making mechanical sounds when they try and balk.
Just grindy noises.
Yep. If you're watching for a while, you notice they're like picking up random crap that was dropped on the floor and just moving it to the sides of the room. So they're kind of like mechanized Roombas. Working on something that appears much larger as you see him rifling through some of his documents, but it all definitely seems to be theoretical and not something that he has been able to practically build yet. A large wing here, jaw there, different aspects. He's just very focused on his I don't know if you could really just call it a hobby anymore.
Profession?
Yeah, there you go. Profession would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Vocation almost.
Well, for anyone else in the room, I'm just kind of sitting there with my book in front of me, and I started a ritual, and I'm just kind of staring off, but my hand is drawing what looks to be weird mechanical chickens in the book. But I'd probably watch for a couple of minutes, just check in, make sure you're doing okay. And then,
yeah, I mean, he just seems content, focused.
And, I would let the spell dissipate. I'm not going to watch for the full 10 minutes. I know you're doing okay, and you're still following your path. And then, I don't know what everyone else is doing, but that's what I did for the last, 15 minutes.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing? This is your chance to question whether or not you guys are actually going to go through with this and what you think of the little bit of the plan you've been told about.
Oh, okay. Karasef is actually going to be doing a little ritual of his own with the bone sword. He's finally getting the time and opportunity to focus on with that. And he's going to perform a ritual that he could do daily, but there's really no reason to once he chooses this weapon. I doubt he'll ever change it, something far better comes into play. And he's going to turn the dragon tooth sword into his pact weapon, making it so that he can summon it at any time, like he does with other weapons. So that it can never really be stolen, because if it goes too far away from him, he can just recall it back. That's what Karasev's doing.
The worst person to be taken into custody. Sure, you can have my weapons. Walks 15 feet away and they just apparate away. I don't know what happened, but that looks like a you problem.
Monarch's just going to work on his armor.
Okay.
So,
Give me another performance check then, please, Monarch. With advantage. You run into a couple issues, but that's mostly because you're changing the shape of it now. Trying to get it to go around, like an armhole and the neck area. So, it's just a little bit of a learning curve, but you still get some done.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Well, the rest of you sort of settle in, enjoy your evening, and then in the morning, or I guess head to bed when appropriate. In the morning, you gather, break your fast.
Sorry.
And then, off you go. Following Nadia's instructions, they are very, concise. They're not difficult to follow at all.
well, to the secret base.
I'm gonna need an investigation check from the party.
I'd be so mad if the best roll I have tonight is Yugen.
That is a 9 plus 9 for 18.
Okay. Orion. You are able to, you are able to find the, switch that opens a secret door in an alleyway. Because you had basically shown up and it was a dead end. And the question became, well, how do we get in there? And, so, you enter this secret passageway. And as you descend, you realize that this place is incredibly lively. There are people everywhere. They are moving around the halls. There is a sound of constant work and it sounds like it is a place that is alive with activity. However, the moment you guys get to the bottom of the stairs, everybody stops and looks at you before there seems to be a mad scramble for weapons.
Hello.
Orion just opens up with hello.
You
Yes.
come in peace.
I am not the Warforged you're looking for.
Okay, Kenobi.
No, just hello.
This doesn't seem to reassure them.
We're looking for Tenda.
A a young human male perks up and then runs off. However, everybody else is holding you at weapon point.
Well, how is everyone doing this fine morning?
How did you get in here?
The door?
Can I just ask something really quick?
Yes.
Sorry. Seeing as he was about to start running, is there, like, where is he running to? Can I see which direction he is trying to escape from?
It doesn't look like he's escaping. It looks like he is going to get somebody.
Oh, okay. It looks like, okay, I was like, is this the guy we need? I want a Misty Step, but if it's looks like he's running off for somebody, never mind.
No, it looks like he's going for the person that you said that you were here to see.
Runner starts to
Misty Step.
take off and just apparates in front of them.
That's what I was
Where do you
gonna
think
do.
you're going?
I was like, door frame. I fit this door frame. Where the hell do you think you're going? No. No, I just was like, oh, is this who we need? Is he booking it? I can stop that, but I don't need to stop that, I guess. Okay.
No, it's okay. Tenda's much bigger.
Oh, I love how just automatically distrustful Sasha is. It is.
I'm not distrustful. I was just like, wait, don't we need something from him? Where's he going? I'll stop him. I'm helping. Sure, it's a little aggressive and it's a little intimidating, but I wasn't gonna put my hands on him. The concussion he gets from slamming his head into my chest is not my fault.
No,
And
because
that
we can't
puddle
blame a
was
wall.
definitely not me.
Because we can't blame a wall when somebody runs into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I do.
Well, yes, but you blame inanimate objects all the time.
I mean, they shouldn't get in the way so much.
Thank you, Otter.
Don't encourage her.
But no, if he's running off for somebody, never mind then.
No, it does seem like he is just running off to go get the person that you said you were here to see.
Yeah.
However, nobody is relaxing, and everybody is watching you with apprehension.
Sure.
Is there a blade pointed at me? Can I just, like, touch my gloved finger to it and push it down?
Well, like, when I say they have you at weapons point, I mean, like, think Flynn Rider from Tangled with all of the swords pointed at him. Like, you guys make one hostile move and you are going to get skewered.
If there is one that is too close to me. Just slow. If it points back up, fine. I'll give it up.
No, they seem to not relax, but they accept that that's where the sword's gonna be, because they're still pretty sure that with the amount of weapons that are being pointed at you, you are probably going to get stabbed by at least something.
If it helps, we were given instructions to meet here. I would recommend probably hiding that lever a little bit better. The instructions got us most of the way here, but that was surprisingly easy to find.
The rest of the party, what lever?
Well, we would know about it after he pulls it, like, oh, yes, okay, the smart one found it. Why am I not surprised?
The Keeper of Secrets has discovered a secret.
I don't know what he's got in them little notebooks of his. You know what they are? Secrets.
You all see a secret? Robotic chickens. No context, just robotic chickens.
It's at this point, it only takes a couple minutes when the young boy runs back up with the air ganassi in tow. And he just looks frustrated. Are you guys kidding me? Get back to work! There are things you can be doing than holding up our allies. Go! Get! Before he stands in front of you all and gives all of the men or non-binary people a nod and sweeps a bow to Fred. Ah,
wow.
I see that you found the place. No problem. If you'll follow me, we are convening in the war room.
Sure. Lead the way.
Which he does, with the young human boy trailing afterwards.
Can I make a point to, like... I know I can see in all directions, but the people here do not. I want to make sure that I'm obviously, like, looking at what everyone is doing as we're walking through to see if there's anything interesting.
Okay. Give me a perception check, please, dear.
I used all of my eyes to find the lever. That is a total of 12.
Fantastic. Nothing seems to stick out to you, like, in general. However, it does seem as though this place has, well, it's larger than what you would assume a secret base would be. And when I say larger, I mean, it seems that there might be upwards of 30 different rooms that house God's knows what. It's hard to determine without going through each individual room, and you don't have time for that. You pass a couple with the doors that are left ajar, and it seems that they are barracks. Possibly for those who wind up staying in the base overnight and need a place to just crash. There are a couple rooms that seem to be specifically towards knowledge of some kind. There are a couple workrooms, although those doors are opened and shut as people are coming in and out of them and are not left ajar. That seems to be a safety hazard if they're just left open. And you are led directly into a large war room. You think perhaps at one time this may very well have been a dining hall. However, it has been converted into a war room. Papering the wall, just one long wall, is a giant schematic and map of the palace. And the reason I say that is because as you are looking at the palace, you come to realize that this is a vast, sprawling castle that has took innumerable amount of time and manpower to build. It is likely that there is upward of 1,000 rooms in this castle, with the main floor gate leading directly into the meeting hall where royalty would hold court. And that is just the palace. There are on-site barracks. There are on-site servant quarters. There is pretty much like a quite a few kitchens scattered throughout it so that any food prepared is hot when it gets to a room. And that's to say nothing of the intricate dungeon system below the castle. This place is huge. A couple of the long would have formerly been the trestle tables have been pushed together and are now acting as a giant war table. There are reports and other bits of military information scattered across the table. Seated at the head of the table, where a section has actually been cleared off entirely. Sorry, hang on. I just lost my train of thought. A section of the table has been cleared off, and it seems that those who require sustenance within the shield are taking their breakfast at this time. Some of them look more tired than others, as if they've been up all night in an attempt to be ready for a 3-day a 3-day
siege.
Timetable. Thank you. That was the word I wanted. God damn. So yes, it seems that people are now spending, as much resources as they can to be ready to assault the palace. The king glances up as you approach. If you haven't eaten, please, by all means, join us. Some of us have been losing track of time.
You look to have a very thorough organization here.
Yes, well, we haven't had a choice. Something this grand of a scale, if it's not organized properly, can go wrong very quickly. Although I will say, some of us are better at it than others. And he gives Pridi a grateful smile, which the water genasi returns. Now remember, you met Pridi already.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the ones that arrived to help move Kitchen to catch up with you guys in the magic-powered armor. I need Sasha to give me a perception check, please.
Wiki. 19. Sorry, I was like 13 plus 6.
Okay. With a 19, you find, you see along the back wall,
Okay.
as they start having, your sort of like morning conversations of, oh, how did you sleep last night? How are you finding the city? Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
You wander towards the back.
Okay.
On this wall is a in memoriam. It is a wall that is basically in memory of.
Okay.
And there are over 100 drawn portraits on this wall.
Okay.
And I need you to give me another perception check, please, dear.
Yeah. Maybe I'll use Adira's. I'm feeling nervous. No, that's a good cause. Whoa. 22. 16 plus 6.
Okay. There are a couple whose names you recognize.
Okay.
You fought with them in the Civil War. Fought alongside them. The names are familiar. And then you see one in particular.
Okay.
You know who this is. Not only because you fought next to him on the battlefield, but because he made a very distinct impression on you while fighting alongside him.
Okay.
He is the Knight Commander, Jonas Buca.
Okay.
And this portrait has him with... These are all done in grayscale, so they're done with charcoals.
Okay.
However, given what you know of him, he is drawn with wings out, eyes glowing. He was a Protector Aasimar, assigned directly to King Sterling. And he is on this wall.
When there's a moment, I guess, I would find somebody who would hopefully know how he passed.
The young woman that you snag is a Tandrak, like Fred. And she introduces herself as Kaylin.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm making notes of my own NPCs as I'm saying them. And she stands there leaning on her bow. However, it seems particular that she doesn't seem to have any arrows on her.
Yep.
But she's leaning on a bow. Oh, well, we're not actually sure if he's dead. We haven't seen him in 6 months after he didn't come back from a scouting mission.
Scouting mission, whereabouts?
He was infiltrating the palace.
I see. Okay.
The
Alone?
king, yes. The king didn't want him to go, but given his skills, we didn't think it would be a problem. He should have been able to get in and out. However, he missed his rendezvous and every other subsequent rendezvous for a month. So, I had to assume he was either captured or killed. And we are not sure which. But given that we haven't been able to hear anything or have not heard anything about him still being alive, with no ransom demands in the slightest or a ultimatum of we stop and he gets let go, we can only assume the worst.
All right.
I wouldn't mention him to King Sterling.
Of course.
Sasha, I need you to give me a history check.
That's a 16.
The art is familiar, actually.
Okay.
And as you're looking, there is a familiar flourish in the corner of each of these pieces.
All right.
Because you had one gifted to you during the Civil War.
Okay.
To be given to your brother and his partner.
Okay.
These have all been hand-drawn by King Sterling himself.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. As you join back up at the table.
Yep.
Party, you find yourselves standing around the table. King Sterling stands next to Sasha with Nadia on his other side, while the others of the shield interpose themselves between the rest of you. Not because they don't trust you, but just because that is how space works out at the table. We have two options. We can go in during the day and go in swords blazing, as it were. Or we can try the stealthy approach and go in during the night. The castle may be locked down, but it was my castle first, and I know pretty much every in and out of that castle, including around the walls. How do you think I got out to begin with? If we go in during the day, it has the least amount of guards. They'll be posted around the city walls, posted around the inner city. We'll likely meet the least amount of opposition. We'd be able to go in, get a hold of the gates at the very least, and be able to basically hole up. If we go in at night, there might be more to be alerted, but most of them should be asleep. There are pros and cons to either approach. However, we also know that everybody has their own set of skills. Where stealth, and he gestures to Nadia and Kastadov as well as Kaelin. While there are those who are a little bit stealthier, there are those of us who just prefer to go in first and ask questions later. And he sort of gives he includes himself in that, but he kind of gives Karaseth, Monric, and Sasha a more significant look.
I ask lots of questions first. I don't kill and maim. Not right off. Oh, unless I'm told to or asked to.
Yes. In this case, you would be asked to.
Okay. Then so be it.
There is a significant force that is coming against the city. So are we moving before they arrive?
No, the plan is to move in 3 days. Well, I guess now 2.5. We will mount this attack, this insurgence, when most of the guards are going to be sent to the inner city walls to close them and guard against your army.
If we were to inform them that an army is coming, Would they not extend most of their forces to the outer walls?
What outer walls?
The city?
Don't forget. Well, when he says to secure the inner city, he means that set of walls.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's another set that surround the palace.
Okay.
So, like, if you are looking at the area map that I have on Roll20, you have that inner set of, like, you have the major city, which you got a lot of the outer city, and then you have a row of, yeah, exactly. Those would be the walls that they try and barricade and fortify.
Mm-hmm.
And then the castle, which is up here.
So he and I are both saying the same thing then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought we were referring to the castle walls and not the outer walls.
No,
Gotcha.
outer walls.
So would it be beneficial for us to let leak the information that an army is in fact coming?
We don't think so. We think that a plan like that might actually backfire on us and be detrimental in the long run. Mostly because it would give them too much time. We basically want them to have their scouts say, the army is here. Not, we have now 3 days to fortify before the army gets there. There is a very real chance that your army may actually be able to get some people through and then get barricaded further into the inner city.
Cause panic too, and then people that are innocent may get hurt.
I know how callous this is going to sound, but I can't save everyone. I will do my best. A lot of the outer city already supports me. And when they see the army that's coming from you, we will be circulating in the next 2.5 days a message to those loyal to us to let that army through without issue. And given I know who is in charge of this particular campaign, he won't condone the killing of innocents. Just those that stand in his way. Which is true for what those of you who have grown up in Farah, that is exactly who Knight Commander Danik is.
Good. Stand for the killing of innocents either.
I do not wish harm upon my subjects. Unfortunately, there is no plan that saves everybody. It is the unfortunate casualty of war. As much as I try, all I can do is mitigate it. I cannot just get rid of it. Negotiations with King Anders will not happen. Because he will not allow them.
And if he's taken out?
If he's taken out, I go back into power. And once I am in power, then I can properly restore this city to its former glory.
But will his knights defend after he's gone?
His knight commanders are loyal to the crown. And if that crown sits on my head, then they are loyal to me.
Okay.
Think of it like they belong to the highest bidder. I have those who are loyal to me without a fault, and you see them here around the table. Those knight commanders are loyal to the people, and then to the crown. And given how this king has treated the people, they are looking for a reason to leave, but cannot defect without having somebody to put in his place. And he has no children of his own, and they have not been able to be in contact with me. And we did that for a reason, because I need to keep these people safe. We have already lost too many, and I know that I will lose more before this fight is over. I also apologize to anybody watching this and is seeing a correlation to IRL events that are happening right now. This was not the intention. We have lost over 100 good men, women, and those that prefer not to be gendered. I run a kingdom based on equality. He runs a kingdom based on power. And to him, money and strength are power. For me, I know that my people cannot survive if they cannot eat. And being taxed so heavily that they can't see when their next meal is going to come from doesn't revolve in a prosperous kingdom. I was beaten once. I will not be beaten again. Before anybody else can say anything, I need everybody to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Roll.
I'll be fine.
Dexterity.
Oh no.
23.
Oh.
Karisef.
4.
I suppose it's AoE and not targeted, so it wouldn't matter, huh?
That's okay, Karisef. I'm right there with you. I got a 5. 3 plus 2.
Yeah, we got a lot of low rolls on this.
Fantastic. Fred, you are able to dive underneath the table as the ceiling starts to collapse. You heard, just before this entire place starts to rock and shake, a loud and large explosion. There is a flurry of cries and general sounds of alarm and confusion. You hear King Sterling shout, "Tenda, what have you exploded now?" Before Tenda replies, "It wasn't me. That came from the surface." And then it is everybody seems, well, not everybody seems, everybody starts pitching in to dig other people out. And anybody who rolled, sorry, Quentin, what did you roll for your dex save?
23.
And Orion?
5.
Anybody who's not Fred or Sasha are going to take...
No.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Does, Paladin stuff,
Oh, yeah.
does it proc in this situation?
Well, it's a saving throw, so yes.
Was it? Then 10 feet of you make a saving throw. So anybody who's close by to me gets a +5.
Same for me.
So plus
10.
10 for everybody.
I would say, do those stack?
They do.
15!
Which takes Karisef to a 17. Orion
I say, do
to
I
a
still
15.
get a +10? Do I
Oh, no,
benefit
you only
from my
get
own
+5.
aura?
You only get
Okay.
+5. So it takes you to a 12.
Actually, no, didn't we talk about this last time that we do proc on ourselves?
You proc on
Or no?
each other.
Oh,
the aura
right.
is for everybody else.
That's what okay, that's what we said.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you get +5 from Karisef, and he gets +5 from you.
Damn, I got a big number.
However, the DC to beat was 18.
Oh, even with a 10, I still would have failed.
So
Well, I mean, it helps, right?
yeah. So,
Every
Madra,
little bit.
Karisef, and Orion, you're all taking 15 points of damage. Fred and Sasha, you are able to get out of the way of falling rubble. And Sasha, as you glance towards the back wall, there is a large crack down the center of it. Many of the artworks have fallen to the floor.
Oh. No. Unfortunately, they're not the important thing right now. It
Nope.
needs to be lives.
But I do want you to note the picture of Jonas has been torn in half.
Like that. All right.
Me trying to remember things that I have told the party before and or have decided to do with the party. Oh, fantastic. Hey, Karisef.
Yes.
I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw, please. Oh, goody.
+5.
+5.
I'm here for you, buddy. Paladin bros. We fist bump from a distance.
Karisef, for a moment, your eyes glow. Bright. And your body sort of just jerks in place. And the words that tumble out of your mouth are spoken in Celestial.
Okay, I actually know Celestial.
I know. This is for anybody else in the party who might know Celestial.
Me too.
The words that tumble out of your mouth are, one of my brethren is held in the palace. His time is running short. This is a prophecy given to you by one of your goddesses.
Okay.
And that's it.
I look around at everybody else like, what? I didn't say.
Give me another wisdom save, please, dear. We're going to see if you remember saying it. Yes.
17.
You remember saying it, and you remember what you said.
And I know who it came from?
Yes. You know it's from your... It's the only way you have ever given prophecies before.
Okay. Interesting. So what, Themis is telling me that one of her brethren being held in the palace?
No. One of your brethren.
Okay.
You have family you don't know about?
If I have family, it's news to me. I was found as an as a baby.
Probably a fellow under your deity. A fellow paladin, perhaps.
This could get interesting.
Was that the cause of the crack? I don't like being down here.
And to that note, with part of the ceiling collapsing, I look spooked. I am, backing away, trying to get towards where we came from and out of the middle of the room.
Fred will walk over and do calm emotions on Orion. It's okay, Orion. We're going to get out of here.
I don't like this. I'm just gonna stand over here.
Fred is going to stay with Orion.
Okay.
In my panic, would I have seen Karasef turn into a flashlight momentarily and start mumbling in gibberish?
Yes. Well, mumbling in a language that you don't understand.
Yes. To me, it's
God, I
gibberish.
speak a language you don't know?
Hey, buddy. Listen. I know a lot of languages, but that's not one of them. Yet.
There are enough of us here that speak it. We could probably teach you.
That's true. I mean, I think there's only one language that oh no, never mind. I'm not playing that one. I lied. I don't know a language that nobody else knows.
See, I got Common, Elvish,
thinking of
Primordial, and Infernal.
Common, Celestial, Elvish.
I just speak Dwarven,
Me and Monarch can
which I don't
chat in
think
Dwarven.
anybody else speaks.
Okay. With that being said, King Sterling requests that you come to the surface with him.
Yes, please.
So you guys are able to work your way out of this room and make your way back to the surface using the pathway that you came down. This base is creaking and shuddering like it's going to collapse some more. However, there are already Earth Ganassi shoring up rooms, and they seem to be focusing on the workshops first. In addition to also finding people who might be trapped. So it's rescue and repair is the mode that they're in now. As you get up on the surface, there is screaming and terror as you cautiously head towards the docks. Laid out before you is a scene that is rather horrific. The docks normally... Pardon?
Oh, hello, cat.
Kitty.
It's the same one.
Yeah.
Samwise.
The scene before you is... Normally, the docks are full of life and activity, even at this early in the morning. However, it is now what could almost be called a barren wasteland. There are pieces of rubble and destroyed buildings. There are plenty of people screaming. Uh-oh. We good? There are people screaming and various injured persons kind of just all around. And it is then that you hear what sounds like pinpoint miniature explosions. Actually, it's a sound that's familiar to some of you. Because you traveled with Calyx.
Oh no. I wouldn't know this sound.
No, you wouldn't. You and Sasha don't know this sound, but everybody else does. Fred.
Huh?
I need a dexterity saving throw, please.
9.
Does our plus 10 still count?
Yes.
19?
Thank you.
Just me and fucking Karasef fist bumping. At some point, we're going to be like, can we use this? And it's going to be like, no, you're too far away. It's like,
Yeah, one of these days.
one of these days.
Even with your 19, it's not quite enough.
Oof.
And, Fred, you are going to take 13 piercing damage as you catch one of these bullets in the side. Matter of fact, it hits you with such force that it actually sort of spins you, in a circle.
Oh. Someone's shooting at us, guys.
You're getting the feeling that they're not shooting at you. You might have just gotten caught in the crossfire.
I don't care, it hurt.
Because these miniature explosions seem to be moving further and further away from you. King Sterling reaches over to you, Fred, and holds his hand out.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're able to, well, you get 5 healing back, at the very least. Which is enough to make sure that, you don't bleed out.
Which health does Fred have?
Well, I mean, she just took a gunshot. Gunshots
Oh.
don't just cauterize. Not these ones. Remember, these are like lead bullets.
Oh, yeah.
Play.
Beefy sorcerer.
Nice squishy.
Sorry. I apologize. Reese just sent me a Snapchat of a Marvel Advent calendar. So I had to tell her that I've got the Mandalorian one. So, I need everybody in the party to give me a perception check, please.
21. 15 plus 6.
13.
Oh my god, a 3. Oh, plus 5? No.
No, this is not a save.
No.
No, I was gonna say it's not a save. I'm so sorry.
I got a 3.
We'll get him next time.
I'm still over here thinking about the prophecy.
I'm too distracted by the prophecy. What does he mean? One of my own. I thought I was alone.
Don't wanna be.
And you find, well, I said find, that's not the right word. You notice there are none of the guard here at all. And an explosion that loud would have been heard across the city. And there is no relief coming at all.
Well, that's strange. What is our king friend doing?
You notice that he has actually casted off his cloak and has started walking around and giving orders. He is organizing and inspiring those that are here into helping their fellow man. And already people are running for healers and doctors and others that bear the mark of the shield somewhere on their person. Perhaps it's woven into their clothes, or it's something that maybe they have a little patch or something. But yeah, it is something to see. There are definitely casualties here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Somebody hit a powder keg of some kind. And yes, it has been a tragedy.
Thinking logically about what's going on, I would like to try and scan the surroundings for anyone who seems suspicious or intently keen on the now visible king walking through the streets here.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Ooh. Am I still standing? Well, it's a check. It doesn't matter. +2 would give me an 18.
You don't notice anybody that seems too keenly focused on the king in a malicious way. There are those that aren't quite believing that their king has returned. That the one who is going to make sure that they are safe is now here. Because stuff like this shouldn't be happening. Because there is a no weapons policy on the inner city for this specific reason.
I guess they didn't read the entryway.
So yeah, that's kind of, they are in shock that the king is here, but they are rallying behind him.
Okay. I'm not very strong or have any healing ability, so I'm going to spend my time using my awareness to just keep an eye.
Yep. Karasef, Monric, and Sasha, the three of you are requested to assist with moving heavy and large pieces of rubble for people who may be trapped underneath.
Definitely.
And I need all of you to give me athletics checks, please. The three of you.
Ooh. 15's not bad. What's my plus? Athletics.
my
Plus
God.
4. 19. Kariseth's having a bad day. I think he needs a nap.
He used his one good roll with Yugen.
Hey, but here's the thing. You haven't had a nat one yet, I don't think. So
That
now
is
you've
his
gotten
nat
rid
This
of
is
it.
a nat 1. This
Yeah,
is a
but
nat
no,
1.
I'm saying this is your your one and only nat one. It can
Oh,
only
well,
go up
hopefully.
from here.
That is very true.
I've I got you.
Kariseth, you're having a hard time, but it's mostly just due to the distraction of the prophecy. You're still trying to figure out who the fuck they're talking about.
Okay.
But the rest of you, or I say the rest of you, but Monric and Sasha, you are able to help and rescue people. Matter of fact, if you hadn't been there, it's a very real possibility that people's lives could have been lost. More than they already have been. Fred.
Mhm.
You are actually no, I was going to say you are sent as a runner, but what happens is that you become in charge of the runners. So, Sterling gives you commands and instructions, and then you send runners who know the city better than you off to get that bidding done. And Orion, it is requested of you to organize those who are working on cataloging what is missing. Basically, to start the
Investigation.
the inventory. Yes.
Okay.
Mostly like the inventory of what has been lost. And there is not a single guard that shows up while this is occurring. Not a single one.
Can I attempt to investigate the scene to try and determine what could have caused this?
Yes!
While I'm taking inventory, just kind of looking around.
Yes, by all means.
I'm gonna pick this die. That one. How's a 25? 16 plus 9? Yeah, 25.
So, in between helping them work through all of this, you are able to you are able to find where the explosion originated from. And this explosion originated out of it seems to be a warehouse just given, like, how the explosion happened. And there are a few, lead bullets lodged into some of the dirt. However, you're not able to tell in which direction they came because the explosion has just sort of rocked everything out of place.
Mm-hmm.
You notice a couple, sort of like shadowy reliefs. And these shadowy reliefs seem to have, are shaped in the form of, not necessarily like human bodies, but of human forms.
There were people there until they were not.
Exactly. And then I need you to please give me an Arcana check.
Okay. This one. Yes. That is yes. 18 plus 9 for 27.
Despite the fact that the shadows are there is a couple that you watch start to fade, sort of as you keep checking on them. And occasionally, you see tall figures with large scythes and hoods drawn. Just sort of out of the corner of your vision, like out of your peripheral. And I know you're wearing the robe of eyes, but like it's out of the peripheral out of all of them. In all directions. Like there's no like, it's to my right, so everything on my right is seeing this thing. No, it's just like always on the edge of your vision. And the moment you try and focus on it, it's gone. But it is clear that Thanatos, or at least the angels of Thanatos, are here doing their jobs.
Now, just for my own brain clarifying here, the shadows that I am seeing that are fading are the same shadows that these figures seem to be going to as when they're fading, or are these separate things?
No, they seem to be correlated.
Okay.
Basically, like, it's as if the shadows are the imprint of the soul, and as the souls are collected, they start to fade.
Oh. That's actually an interesting fact.
Does that make sense?
Do I see anything in the ethereal walking through this space?
Yep. Yes, you do. You see anybody who has died, their souls are being guided to the afterlife and to judgment.
Well, this feels a little awkward. I guess from my many peripherals, I will just wave at one of the cloaked figures and go about. Can I see, of the souls of the people here, are they like motes or energy, or would I be able to like give someone a description of the faces I see so they can keep track?
You could, but there is a lot of faces, and there's no way you could track them all. Like, we're talking,
Okay.
there are hundreds dead here, Otter. So, like, you would see them occasionally, and then see one that's, like, just enough to say, oh, yes, that's correct. So, or that like, that's a person. But to be able to identify all of them, not a chance.
Okay.
And it's just due to the sheer amount of them.
Oh, yes. This is more of a... I have had the cloak for a while, but this is the first time, like, stuff from I'm not used to seeing is there.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to think that I found where I think the base of the explosion is, and now I'm just kind of taken back with what I'm seeing and, like, just observing all of this going on.
Yeah. Which you can.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes you the rest of the day. Your day is spent with relief efforts and assisting in, trying to rescue as many people as you can. Sasha, Monric, and Karasef, you are all supplied with food. Good, hearty food to keep you going. Fred, eventually somebody does set up sort of like a command center for you and Orion, where you're able to start storing information that is brought back to you. Some of the priestesses of Aphrodite show up for direction from you, Fred. So you put them to work healing who they can. If there are people with just like superficial scrapes, you are able to direct the priestesses of Aphrodite to them and leave the medical professionals to the more harsher of the injuries. By the time you are able to sort of wrap up for the day, it is past curfew time and the gates are closed. And the group of you are... we have had a hydrate redeemed, ladies and gentlemen, and I need to go grab a drink. That is a really good reminder. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It's
Chad.
like they knew the DM has been talking for too long and hasn't taken a goddamn drink the entire time. I will be right back.
Hydration is important.
Right back. Water sounds good.
And then there were two. Hello, Q.
Hello. Oh,
I can now say that I see dead people.
God. Have fun. Why not?
As if my conversations with the party are not weird enough as it is.
Oh, what's that? Yeah. Let's see. Is it going to be a new number?
Okay.
Another bot wins.
Oh, my fuck.
Oh, no, guys, they're not bots. Those are
No?
Steam IDs. They're Steam IDs.
Why can't somebody come into the chat? Because everybody's just saying it's bots.
Yeah, because they're all dumb. No, they're Steam IDs.
Oh.
Like, there was a bunch of people winning that had, like, names, and now it just seems to be that this is what's getting pulled.
Like,
I don't think they're bots.
yeah.
Because the number is, like, changing a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So, see, I thought the bot was broken, because I thought I kept seeing the same number pop up over and over. No. They're Steam IDs.
There's, like, a way to check, I guess, besides just, like, waiting for an email, but...
Sorry, for those in chat, Steam is giving away Steam Decks during the Game Awards. And each of us have it open in the background just to see if we have a chance of winning. And the numbers for the winners that keep coming up are just a blurb of numbers versus usernames.
Yeah, see, where, like, and I think they might be doing it by Steam IDs because there's a lot of people who have the same names.
Oh yeah, that would be understandable.
Whereas everybody's Steam ID is different.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Shit. I thought I'd actually won one. It was so fucking close. Oh my god. Yeah, it took me a second. If you want to know what your Steam ID is, if you go under view account, it's right underneath where it says your name's account. Steam ID, it's like right underneath there. If you're curious.
But has everyone now hydrated?
I have.
I brought the water. I forgot to open it.
Oh no, I got the no cursing. Why do you do this to me?
10 minutes of no cursing.
Dang
Starting the timer. Meow.
Why, Chad? Why?
Because they can.
I mean, that is why that's there.
Yep. No, I know. But you're not. You are hurting me, not the party. You're hurting the DM.
It doesn't hurt you to practice non-swearing for 10 minutes.
Just remember,
Debatable.
if you swear, the timer starts over.
I know. All right. However,
Okay, party, let's get her going.
Let's not.
Are we meeting any man spiders?
No.
No, it is the man spider. We've only
No,
found
I've
one.
introduced you to other spider folk. Stop. Why?
But
Because
the
of
second-
booze and light being disruptive. That's
The-
valid.
The second spider was a she spider, though. We've only met a singular man spider.
I can't believe you guys have bullied me into culture.
I mean, there are worse things one could be bullied into.
You are correct, but still. That being said, sorry. My god. Ridiculous. Anyway, you are offered a night in the barracks. So that sorry. So that you don't have to try and chance the guards that may or may not be on the walls. The barracks have been sort of cleared out. There's plenty of dust and debris still around. But they're still trying to clean up as much as possible. You notice that there is a list of papers handed to the king as you arrive back. Oh my god, another cat. You guys are killing me here.
Hello, Maya.
So crazy.
And you, you're able to rest. You notice that it seems to be a list of names on the papers handed to King Sterling. However, you are sent off with another meal, plenty of water for those that are partaking, and are told to get plenty of rest. Because this has now taken up some of your planning time. And you are now down to 2 days. In the morning, you are woken up, and Munrick, it is requested of you to come help in one of the workshops.
Okay, I'll definitely come help.
It seems to be a workshop that seem to escape the explosion relatively unscathed. And when you realize how much magical stuff is surrounding you, you're thinking it was probably a good idea. However, given your blacksmith-sized arms, you are requested to help them pound out plates to be fitted and inscribed for armor.
Okay, I can do
This is
that.
a familiar motion to you, so I'm not even going to make you roll it. But you pretty much spend half of the day working side by side with Samuel and Tenda. Orion and Fred, you are sort of just instantly scooped up by Preeti, King Sterling, and Nadia in an effort to continue to control what has happened above yesterday, as well as to possibly figure out an alternative plan, because this has put a bit of a dent into the resources available and the people available to you to run this operation. Orion, there is a part of you that feels the need to check that scroll.
Well, I will do that. I was actually planning on, before we spent the night, scrying on the other scroll to see what's going on with the army.
Okay.
But yes, over the night I would have tried scrying on. For the life of me, my brain is not pulling the man's name.
The man who has the other half of that scroll?
Yes.
Knight Commander Danik.
Danik. Attempting to scry on Danik. But in the process of the next day, I would check the scroll as well.
So your scrying shows them riding through the night. They are trying to get to Silver Summit as quickly as possible. They are traveling through the darkness, all with the intention of making sure that they can get here in time to make a difference.
I mean, I've got the spell. I might as well use it for not making my party members talk about other things. And then talking with the king. What does the scroll say today?
The scroll tells you that they will be sieging the walls by dinner tonight. Now, you will note that it said sieging. They are not staging an assault until the next morning, but they are prepping for the siege when they roll in that night.
Yes.
Which leaves you about 6 hours to get the message out to those that support the shield.
Oh, well, lovely. I'm glad I checked that. King, it would seem the army has made due haste getting here. I have been informed that they plan on beginning a siege by dinner time and moving forward in earnest come the morning.
That scroll allows you contact with them, with the army, yes?
With Danik, yes.
Might I borrow it?
I guess?
May not work for you.
See, this is the beauty about sending scrolls. They work like sending stones. And as long as you have one half, the other half works. They are not person specific.
Okay. I was wondering if it was just for Orion.
Nope. I mean, anybody in the party could have taken it. They just figured that Orion seemed to be the one that did all of the writing since he constantly had his notebook out.
I'm the keeper of strange things. It makes sense.
You watch immediately as King Sterling starts to pen a message to Knight Commander Danik.
Oh, Commander Danik is going to be so confused.
He starts out by, identifying himself as King Sterling, and then it devolves basically into a conversation between the two of them, brokering the safety of his people. Because he doesn't want to see his people hurt. There is no reason to be a king if there are no people to be a king over. This conversation happens pretty quick between the two of them, and it amounts to Danik saying that as long as they are not stopped by his people, then they will leave them alone. He keeps his army under strict control not to pillage and loot on their way through. However,
if they are doing the siege tonight, should we try to get in the palace then? They're going to be distracted.
We can either warn our people or do the infiltration. We cannot do both.
I mean, by that same logic, if we spend the evening gaining contact with the people you need to, come morning, the forces here will have far other things to worry about than us making our way into the castle.
So, Orion, you think it's safer for us to try tomorrow?
I mean, safe is a relative term. Plans are just that. They are usually great words, but when things happen, plans tend to go sideways. That's part of the process. But I feel like having more people who know what's going on would be beneficial. At least that's my understanding.
So your suggestion is that we assault in the morning, once we have collected our people, and your army is firmly entrenched around the inner wall.
If they are approaching this evening, I assume throughout the course of the night, someone is going to spot their presence, and it's going to cause for alarm, which will hopefully give us one of two outcomes. Either the current king will turtle, if you will, and draw everything to the castle, or try and protect the city that he kind of cares about and move forces away from the castle unless things start to get bad.
It's hard to predict what he's going to do.
It's hard to predict people in general.
No, actually, I could predict exactly how your Knight Commander is going to do his plan before he told me what it was. You lay siege to the city and you starve them out. During which you fight back any insurgency that is trying to prevent you from staying. Given the fact that you have access to all the farms and you don't plan on getting rid of them, you control the city just by starving people out. Now, of course, this is dependent on how many stores you would have, and since he is a greedy bastard, he's not going to share with the inner city. He's barely going to share with the people in the castle. I can predict what Knight Commander Danik will do. I cannot predict what the Usurper will do. Because he could decide to do a full-out assault on your army, which leaves the castle relatively undefended. Or he could just hole up in the castle and let the city fall around him. As long as he holds the throne, he holds the power. And he could just threaten to kill your crown prince.
Well, we need to get that crown prince away from him.
So I'm thinking that the idea to go in the morning, after he has sent his men out to try and dissuade the army, might be our best shot. Because he is going to make a show of force, at the very least. We hope. While you guys are having all that conversation, Sasha and Karasef, the two of you are sort of left a little bit floundering. Your skill sets tend more towards the combat-oriented one, and they are all currently in the planning stage. Monric can lend his skills as a former blacksmith to assist the others. And short of being sent on fetch quests, the two of you are sort of left at odds. What would you like to do? Which isn't to say that you could just say, oh, we're going to be there for the planning, and then we will have assumed you were there the entire time. However, if you guys want to discuss in Celestial the shit that you heard yesterday, this might be the time.
Oh yeah, that's true. You got a deck of cards?
Paladin to paladin.
Oh, there he goes. Guess he didn't want to play a game of cards with me. All right.
My camera fell.
Sorry, you just picked up your phone, and all I thought is you or your camera, and all I thought was like you got games on your phone. That's what it looked like whenever I saw your face. I'm so sorry.
The hinge broke, so I think
No!
I'm on the camera for the rest of the night.
Camera is
Oops.
now offline.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Oh wow! All of my stuff is breaking in the last month. Oh, okay.
You got gremlins.
What?
You got gremlins.
Yes, sure.
They're breaking all you
What does Luna Lovegood call them?
Oh god, I can't remember.
God, it's been so long.
Nargles.
Nargles, yeah.
Yes. The hinge broke. Yeah, the hinge broke in Choku. Unfortunate.
Well.
Okay. Well, moving on from that moment. I don't know if I have a deck of cards.
You could probably find somebody who does.
And then we can just chat in Celestial.
Yes.
Okay. Rummy?
I'm sure I've learned it somewhere.
We're gonna say you have. Also, for the record, that rest after the full day's work was technically a long rest, so anybody who's missing HP, you no longer are.
Oh, thank the heavens.
I gotta re-roll my portents. I was hoping I was going to get to use one of those weird rolls. What do we got today? Okay. Sure.
Alrighty then. That looks like that'll be dangerous for me.
It's really liking that one number so far this session, Maddie.
Yep.
Land on.
Okay. Alright, party.
So the paladins are
Sasha,
talking.
The paladins are having a conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm so distracted by my stuff breaking, and I just noticed that where it landed on the keyboard, it knocked my page up and my home button's out. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, we're just talking about your oracle vision.
Yes, my lovely little message.
Yep.
Okay, so in Celestial, of course, to be as unoverheard as possible, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Start discussing that I seem to have gotten a message from do I know which one it was? Themis Nemesis?
Themis.
Okay.
Because I happened to look back and I noticed that I needed a prophecy for Jordan and Jesmond, and I don't think I did that, so you're getting it here.
Oh, okay. So Themis passed that down and spoke through me, which was a interesting feeling.
Do they always just out of nowhere? Or do they wait until you've been hit upon the head?
Well, that was a first for me. I've never actually been spoken directly through.
Oh. I suppose there is a first for everything.
This, another of my kind is being held within the castle.
Another
I have
of your
the
kind.
bonus task.
Do you
Yes.
mean of your, I guess, how do I word that? Trying to think, sorry. Like, we don't know your race.
You've seen me, haven't you? Pretty sure you and
Maxim?
No.
No, I don't think we have.
Somebody in the party has seen me.
Not in the party. It has only been NPCs.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
I
Okay,
thought
are we
some of
around-
them saw something when we were in the dungeon.
Nope. Karasef knows about Sasha in the dungeon.
Oh,
in the
that's what it
dungeon,
was.
I had also remember I released the wings and the eyes in the dungeon when I reminded the ne'er-do-well that the gods had sent us to prove that he was still just flesh and bone.
I think I'm the only one who hasn't seen Karasef do weird things. Because
Yes.
I was super out of it at the time.
You are correct. Sorry.
Okay, but yes, another of my race. We should add it to the task list to rescue them as well.
We'll have to keep an eye out.
Castle. Yes. But
I suppose it's if if they've messaged you, that it is of great importance, I'm sure, so we'll have to make sure to definitely keep our eyes out and keep watch. Oh, excuse me.
Karaseth, you distinctly remember Sasha looking at that back wall of art, but you didn't go inspect it yourself.
Okay. Take the DM hint, and did you notice anything interesting at the art that you were looking at earlier? You seemed paying a good deal of attention to it.
A lot of people have lost their lives because of this. One of them actually, I battled alongside with. The king portrayed a very nice portrait of him with fire in his eyes and wings from his back.
Go inspect that painting.
Well,
It's
when
now
you
ripped
guys
in half.
go to inspect it, that seems to be the only portrait that hasn't gotten put back.
It's not on the wall?
No, it's not. Now, Sasha would remember that it is because it was ripped in half when the explosion happened.
Anybody know mend?
I actually think I might. Hold on.
I do.
I lied. I do not.
You're not. Hugin knows it.
I'm not powerful enough to know mend yet.
Isn't that a cantrip?
It is cantrip.
Is it an artificer cantrip? I don't remember seeing it.
I want to say that it is in the Artificer Cantrip book.
Well, then maybe I do have it.
Hang on, double checking. Something
Might
tells me that it is.
Hugin might have had it because of the mark of making, though, too.
I would say I know Eugen had it because he used it.
Nope,
on,
it's an Artificer Cantrip.
Okay.
It's also available to bards, clerics, druids, sorcerers, and wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind repair? Do we know where the torn in half portrait is?
It doesn't seem to be anywhere in the immediate vicinity that you can see.
Is once again unfortunate.
Although you could both give me investigation checks to try and find it.
Watch me roll another one.
I
Do
believe
it.
in you.
15.
10. Like the third highest roll of my night.
You are able to see half of the page, and it seems to be sticking out from underneath some of King Starling's papers that he has in front of him.
Walk over and just be like, can I borrow this? And just start tugging at it, pulling it out from under the papers.
Oh my god.
Doesn't look like you're using this. I'm just gonna borrow it.
Yeah.
He doesn't really give you a lot of mind, because he's not super paying attention to what you're saying.
Just withdraw the pieces, bring them back over, kind of like hold them up to get a better. I wonder if this could be being held. Possible? Did they survive said battle?
Well, so Sasha, just to remind you, Caitlin said that they don't know if Knight Commander Jonas is still alive or not. Because he missed his rendezvous when he went to infiltrate the palace alone.
A mixture of hope lost and his portrait made it to the wall.
Lovely wings.
Me needing to remind myself of what type you are.
Not that type.
No, I don't think so. Well, this is all done in grayscale, right? So, like, it is a little bit... Actually, no! You are the same type! Both of your wings show the same.
Okay, then with a bit more of a smirk, I suppose, behind my mask, but possibly slightly audible smirk. He has truly wonderful wings.
You can hear it through his voice, Sasha. You can't see the expression, but you can hear it through his voice.
Oh.
Brethren, indeed.
But of course, this tells you something important, Karaseth. And I need you to actually give me an insight check to see if you figure it out.
Hey, because Ravika's now. Oh,
nope,
I doubt it.
Never mind. You don't make that correlation at all.
I highly doubt it. Yeah. Okay.
Sasha, go ahead
Yes?
and give me an insight check, please, dear.
Oh no.
All right, I'm gonna go find some physical dice real quick.
17.
You have an inkling that the brethren that you are seeking might actually be Knight Commander Jonas. It takes the rest of the day between everybody's input to plan the assault. They're going to wait until the army is firmly entrenched around the inner walls, which will take up most of the night. And in the morning, we'll start the assault on the palace. Yes.
King.
Yes, Orion.
Theoretically, do you have an image or a likeness of Anders at your disposal?
I do not, but it shouldn't take me more than, I think, maybe 15 minutes to draw up something.
What if I said there's a possibility that I may be able to see how he's reacting to the situation before we act?
You know that sort of divination.
I'm a studier of the stars, after all.
Would it be possible for you to do so in the morning before we set out?
I could. It would possibly hamper some of my ability for the day, but I could do it in the morning.
Let me get you that likeness. And then we will decide from there what'll be most beneficial for us.
At least it's a we may know what we're walking into versus not.
And true to his word, it takes him about 15 minutes to get you an image of King Anders.
And I will follow his discretion on whether he believes that would be a morning thing, or if we get a bead now and act upon it in the morning.
Well, he does take into account your suggestions. And I'm going to... Please hold. We know how this goes. You are handed a black and white version of this. He is a Tandrak, and you have seen him before. King Anderson Newell was the man who nearly defeated Sir Virgil Kensington way back at the beginning of the campaign.
That guy.
You want to send me the picture?
Yes. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever wonder why I keep getting asked for photos and you don't see any on stream, it is because my mother is taking the most fantastic set of notes.
Mama Bear is our archivist for this campaign.
And she is doing a fantastic job at it.
My notes would help no one other than Orion. Mama Bear notes help everybody. Oh, we've met this man before. Or
really?
At least partially.
I remember.
I don't know if met
Ugh.
is... Did any of us meet him directly?
No.
I wasn't there.
We have seen this man before, back in Quo. And am I recalling the events correctly that he received a bit of a thrashing?
Yes! Sir Virgil Kensington kicked his ass!
Yes. I do believe the last time we saw him, he was getting what I believe people call a thrashing during a tournament. And I'll look around and like, is that the right word? I
Brad
think
shaking her head, yes.
Okay.
A beat down.
He
got a beat down in front of everybody.
Good.
I wasn't paying a ton of attention during the fight. I was trying to converse with a very interesting fellow next to me. But the bits I did catch, he was not having a very good go of it.
I could imagine not. If Sir Virgil is as good as they say he has a reputation that precedes him. But yes, no, he, good. Let's hope that, this won't backfire.
So I will leave the call up to you. Would you rather we look tonight?
Wait till we get word. Let's wait till we get word on the army, and then we'll scry for it.
Yes. Once we
And then
know
you can rest.
word of the army has been seen, we can try and check. And worst case, if it doesn't work today, we can try in the morning if it is not successful.
Of course. Fred, at this point, your runners arrive back, informing you that the army has been sighted. And they are 3 hours from hitting the city limits. It is at this point King Sterling instructs you to instruct the runners to start informing their people in the outer city to give the army what they need. And that if all goes according to plan, this will be over within a week. Orion, I need you to give me... God, what is your DC right now? 22?
Hold on. Let me actually post this so we can see the wording on it. So, the saving throw, I am... Let's see here. Second hand, you've heard of the target. First hand is here. So I don't think there's a modifier on it because I am simply second-hand knowledge of this person. And then they would have a -2 because I have their likeness.
Okay.
So DC 17, they have a -2.
Alright. Now this gets blocked by... There are ways to block this divination magic, yeah?
There are types of spells that block divination magic, yes. Private Sanctum is one of them.
Okay.
Some of the planar magics have them.
Okay.
Trying to think.
I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. I need you to give me a spell check, please.
Just a roll plus my intelligence?
Well,
then?
okay, let's do this like you're trying to upcast counter spell to hit a spell like higher than yours.
Okay.
That's what I want you to do.
So what am I adding to this roll?
I think it's whatever your spellcasting modifier is.
Okay, so it'd be +5 for intelligence. Come on, baby. Actually, yeah. Because we're coming to the close of the evening, I'm going to use my higher portent and just set that to a 22.
Alright. You managed to break through... the warding that surrounds the room that the king is in. And you watch him take his goblet in hand and throw it at a wall. You hear him raging that the army should not have gotten here this quickly, and that his knight lieutenants have thus far been useless. And he is working himself up into a fine frenzy. And that's when you notice behind him 3 bodies hanging by their wrists attached to a wall. In the center is the half-elf prince. Hang on. The Crown Prince Luvan Fenmare.
The Crown Prince Luvan Fenmere?
Yep.
Okay.
Which is the prince that you've been coming to retrieve.
Yes.
To his left is a dirty, scraggly-looking, blonde human.
Okay.
Who you are 75% sure is Sir Virgil. It's a little bit hard to tell through the facial hair growth and the hair growth and the fact that he doesn't look very clean.
Yeah. I also don't know what he looks like.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we were given a picture.
Oh, yes, we did. Okay.
By his
Yes,
wife.
yes.
Yes. This is who his wife has asked you to rescue him.
Okay.
And then next to him is a figure that you don't recognize. And I think you're the only one who can see this, right? Like, this isn't everybody can see it, it's just you?
This is just me.
Okay. You see... Hold on. I got NPCs and other things littered all around. Hell is what for? What you see is, this person doesn't seem to be able to grow facial hair, but, his head of hair is rather long. Hang on, apologies. Let me just get to I have a picture for him.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to make sure I'm describing him right. His eyes are closed, and you see, what seems to be a mechanical arm that is completely blackened, as if somebody has tried to burn it off of his body. So he has a prosthetic, which you are familiar with, having dealt with Travercraig.
Can I get a good enough of a look at it to see if it is the work of such that I saw in Travercraig? I mean, the sensor stays around the king, but would I see that in my scope?
Yes. And he looks emaciated, as if he has not eaten in months. He is pale, covered in scars. And as you're watching, he sort of tilts his head towards the Crown Prince and says something that then involves the king whirling around and throwing a knife at him. It misses, but not by much. How long does scrying last?
10 minutes. I was just about to say I would be sticking in there as long as I can to try and get a beat on what's happening.
The king is furious. But you have found the two that you need to rescue. And what seems to be a third.
Has he said anything on how he plans on dealing with the army that has gotten here faster than he thought they were?
Well, his plan seems to amount to, we're going to let them siege for 3 days, and then we're going to burn the city to the ground.
Lovely.
His 2 knight commanders, one of which is... Sorry, I'm just double checking. Both of which are Tandrak. Look rather offended at his suggestion that they burn the city to the ground. Like, these are their people. You can't just be burning your people's city to the ground.
During the time that I'm listening to their conversation, I have my book out in front of me, and
Yep.
I would like to start sketching the scene I saw behind the throne of the 3 figures.
Oh, they're not in a throne. They're not in the throne room.
They're not in the throne room.
No.
Okay, what
They're
does
in
the
a
surroundings
dungeon.
look like? Boom.
They're in a dungeon.
Awesome. I would like to start sketching the scene I see before me in the dungeon of the 3 figures while I'm listening. So, Orion, I'm staring off, listening to what I'm seeing in the scry, and in that space, I would like to try and draw the figures.
Give me a performance check, please.
Performance?
Yup.
Oh, man. This die is so hard to read sometimes. I can't tell if that's a 16 or an 18. That is a 16 plus 2 for 18.
Okay. You can't get major details on the 3 in the back, but you're able to properly capture King Anders and the
2 lieutenants?
And the 2 knight commanders.
Yep. I'm not so far as trying to get like heavy detail on the 3 in the back, more enough detail that I can show it to people and make sure it's who we're looking for. I know who 2 of the people are. I don't know who the 3rd one is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. As you finish scrying, everybody is sort of waiting with bated breath because they were seeing what you were doing as you were doing the scrying. And, What's up?
I think he was talking to the cat.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. She just tried crawling up my chair.
Okay. I heard somebody speaking, and I'm like, no, please, by all means, players, do your thing. As you're watching with bated breath, the scene that is turned towards the table, everybody pours over it. King Sterling tells you, well, that one there, the tall, beefy one, that is Sir Athelstan the Forsaken. He's an honorable man, but he will fight to the death.
And he's referring to the lieutenants at his side?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. he is referring to the 2 lieutenants. And that one is Dame Maria the Vanquisher. Both honorable. If we can get rid of the king, they will capitulate. Of that I am certain.
What were their titles? One more time? Athelstan the what?
Athelstan the Forsaken and Dame Maria the Vanquisher.
Okay. And as everyone is looking over the image I've drawn, I will then vocalize and relay the conversation that was being had from the king to the lieutenants about their plans. They seem to plan on waiting the siege out for 3 days and then burning the city to the ground.
Well, then we really can't wait. Not that we were going to, but, I mean, this is... We really just can't wait anymore. We will go in the morning, as was the plan. Myself and Kasanov will escort you as far as the dungeons. The rest of us will, storm the castle.
Sure. Is the plan then to head in teeth bared, or are we attempting to secret ourselves in?
I think we won't encounter too much opposition, but the opposition we do will either be able to intimidate into laying down their arms, or we'll dispatch them.
And as far as this sketch goes, I know 2 of these figures. We've been sent for 2 of them. Does this one with the long hair mean anything to you? They seem to have a prosthetic arm of some sort. It seems reminiscent of the fine craftsmanship we've seen in Travercraig on our way here.
Did you say prosthetic arm?
I did. It seemed to be blackened, almost as if there was an attempt to burn it.
Of course he would try. He never did understand how that worked. Well, I hate to ask you about a tertiary objective to your mission, but I would be eternally grateful, and you would be owed a favor of the king if you were to rescue that man. Because that man is that man. And he points at the drawing that is in front of Sasha and Karasov. That is my Knight Commander.
Karasev's head swivels.
He does yet live, but in a worrisome state, at least from what I could see. He's very thin, almost emaciated, covered in what looks like fresh scars.
Well, then don't rely on him to do any fighting.
Oh, that wasn't my aim in bringing it up. Just, they don't look very good.
We'll have healers on hand for him. Don't worry. There is a flurry of tertiary and or secondary and tertiary plans that go into place. What happens if we find Anderson in this location? What happens if we find him here? It's a vast amount of plans upon plans upon plans. Backup plans have backup plans have backup plans. And then everybody is sent off with the knowledge that you may not sleep well tonight, but to do your best to rest. And as you settle in for the night, with the assault on the palace in your heads, this is where we're going to call it for the night. We did have a party appreciation redeemed in chat. Monric, it was actually directed at you. So the way that this will work is that you are asked to give a compliment to the party, either individually or as a group.
Whether it be the players or the people, it is up to you.
Players are the characters?
Players are the characters, thank you.
Yes.
Players aren't people? Come on.
I'm not people.
No argument there.
Okay, well, I definitely appreciate all of the players on the in the game. You know, Q is always there for the team. Zarasef is always doing something interesting. Orion is inscrutable most of the time. And Fred is the best backup on the team that we could have.
Fantastic. All right, so I would like to remind everybody who is currently in chat that we do have new merch ideas in the Eclectic Emporium. If you want to see new merch coming to our merch store soon, you should join our Discord and let us know what you think. Otter has been hard at work at these designs, and they look amazing.
And stay tuned tonight. I'm going to be putting some mock-ups together and posting them in the Emporium this evening after we end stream here.
So definitely join our Discord and see what we've got. We are in the works for more stuff, as well as works on stuff for Patreon. I am currently working on some information about starting your very own homebrew. Because currently, on Dire Bear, we don't have a singular module being played. Everything on Dire Bear is homebrewed, which means that these are all from the creative minds of the DMs themselves. In addition, we had just wrapped up Saturday's campaign. Keep an eye out in the Discord, because Axis Amp, our DM on Saturdays, will be putting up a call for new players for his new campaign, A Game of Time. Yes, Game of Time. I had to think about that for a second.
And the finale for Tuesday is coming up next week.
Woohoo! So, we have lots of stuff going on. The finale for Act 2 for this campaign should be next week. Assuming people don't wind up super sick and I don't wind up super sick right before I go home for the holidays.
You're staying home then.
If I get sick, I'm staying home, don't worry. So, with that in mind, just be aware that next week will be our last session here. Hey, look, I'm not saying I'm planning on TPKing them, but if it happens, then it happens.
I've already got my backup character ready.
I'm not saying I'm planning on TPKing them, but if it
You
happens,
ready for 3 paladins? Let's go.
I get PPK'd.
Oh, if
I'm
something
going
happens
back
to Sasha, I'm bringing back
barbarian.
Calix. I don't need a backup. Calix is
I'll
just gonna
bring
show up and be
Strong
like,
out.
"You fucking idiots."
So with that in mind, please remember that next week is our last session, and then we will be on break until after the new year. Probably be back right that first week of January. But we'll keep an eye on the Discord. We'll tell you when we're coming back. I think that's everything. So, guys, we are still in a pandemic, so remember to wash your hands, sanitize when you can, social distance if you're not feeling, good about people. Wear a mask if you're feeling unwell or you're just feeling nervous around people. Wear a mask. Be kind to one another. And remember, roar for initiative. See y'all next week.